y'all, welcome back to Black as She podcast with your girl Jasmine Ivory. So today I am shooting from the car. It is raining here in Texas, so please, if y'all hear the rain outside of my car, just bear with me, just kind of disregard that. It's slight, but it's rain nonetheless. But today I have a lot of errands to run, so that's why I'm even in the car. I ordered something for my oldest nephew for his birthday, and I had it sent to my parents' house because he goes to school right across the street from their home. So he goes to high school, so I just want to make sure that everything was in order and delivered with decency and in one piece. So yeah, and I also want to make sure that they actually did deliver. It said it was dropped off, but I want to make sure because he's so excited. I thought it was going to be here tomorrow at 10 p. Well, I'm sorry, no, today at 10 p.m. But it looks like it got delivered really early, and he actually texted me earlier. He was like, did it say the time? Has the time changed on it? I was like, no, not yet, nephew. But when I checked, it did. So I kind of wanted that to be a surprise. So I haven't told him like, hey, it is here. Got here early. I wanted it to be a surprise because he is so excited for this game table. So yeah, but anyways, that's why I'm kind of in the car, and plus I got other stuff to do afterwards as well, like errands and stuff to run. But I just wanted to hop on here really quickly to talk about how great God is. And before I proceed to do that, let me just say, first of all, your girl is getting herself back together, y'all. My face has gone down. I did have to go to the dentist yesterday, unfortunately, because I did have some inflammation going on from my oral surgery when I had my teeth and everything taken out, my wisdom teeth. But yeah, so your girl's face is going down. My girl, she's getting it together over here. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm happy. I do still have a little pain and throbbing, so I had to take some Advil not too long ago. But that is what it is. But nonetheless, your girl is coming back to herself, feeling myself humbly, of course. But yeah, so anyways, just coming on here to say how great God is, how awesome God is, even in the midst of our storms, even in the midst of when we're just confused, when we feel lost, when we feel sad, when we feel depressed, whatever emotion we are feeling, when we feel like our finances are going low. God is a God all by himself, and he will show you who God is. Like, God is God all by himself, y'all. There's my favorite line on Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And her husband, we know how, if you've ever seen the movie by Tyler Perry, you know how her husband was, how he treated her, how he drug her out the house, you know, classic Tyler Perry movie. But at the end of it, when he started to realize and God started to move and kind of to shift or whatever, you know that's a movie, but in real life, that's what happened. God kind of shifts these things around to where you have no choice but to acknowledge who he is as a spirit. You have to acknowledge God, and you have to understand that God is God alone. He needs help from no one. He needs authorization from no one. He can do things all on his own. And the line in that movie where her ex-husband was like, God will show you who's God. Period. My favorite line in the movie, God will show you who's God. All by himself. Let me tell y'all, so I have this thing where I don't like for my bank account to be lower than a certain number. I try to keep myself leveled out financially. And there's a point of time, there's a point of time where I started to see my finances get below that. Like, I was helping out family, and I'm so humble and so grateful to be able to have done that because he had already blessed me with the finances to even do that. So I'm so grateful, and it was my choice, voluntarily, my decision. No one asked me for anything. I just offered it. I called them and was like, hey, I ran into some extra funds. What do you need? This is what you need. Okay, I'll send it to you. Just reaching out to my family, because that's who keeps me grounded. That's who keeps me, God keeps me whole, but that's who molds that wholeness is family. Regardless of how much we agree to disagree or just completely disagree altogether, that's family. And the type of family that I have, especially on my mom's side, we're all close knit. My dad's side too, but my mom's side, that's who I'm more familiar with. but so we're really, really close. And all of them collectively, from my parents, my niece, my nephews, whether they know it or not, which I'm sure they do, they keep me grounded, they keep me molded, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them if I am able to do so. So I say that because, like I said, I was, giving out money and this and that, paying this person, paying that person, getting my business, my bills, everything taken care of first, of course, and then assisting when I can. You can't pour from an empty glass. So I had to make sure all of my stuff was in order to help them out. But then I started to see, in doing that, my funds was like, it's like, okay, God bless me with this, but now it's starting to go. So I'm like, okay, Lord, my finances are they're getting to a place where, I'm getting a little shaken. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. So I know you're going to deliver. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I need you to deliver. And I expect that from you because I know you're a God who serves. You're a God who never fails. So I know that I'm obedient to you. I know that I try to do almost everything that you ask of me. Unfortunately, sometimes I do procrastinate, but in the end, I still get it done. And procrastination is not good either, because when God says be obedient, at the drop of a dime, you need to be obedient. And sometimes I do struggle with that, so that's my fault, and that's something that I am getting better with. But even in the midst of that, God was like, okay, I hear you. So the first time I even got the money was because someone hit my car. And y'all, let me tell y'all the mind-blowing part. Let me tell you how God works, okay? Let me tell y'all how God freaking works, period. This entity, this spirit of God, the God that I serve, bro, I literally had a dream like 3 days before. I had a dream, didn't think nothing of it. Right hand to him. I had a dream, thought nothing of it. This was the dream. I didn't tell my parents or anything because I'm like, I don't want to freak them out. I don't want to stress my mom out based on this dream, because I was still trying to collect my thoughts myself and still kind of like process the dream itself. So oh my God, God is so good. Oh my gosh. I can't even, oh my gosh, God is so good. And I'm going to try not to get emotional because he's just so good. Oh my gosh, y'all. So the dream consisted of, I was in the car, right? Like, this is like 3 days before my accident. I was in the car. This is my dream. I'm in the car and I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm driving. And I'm doing everything right. Like, I have my turn signal on. I'm getting ready to turn, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just cruising, paying attention, being alert, with like the cars that's coming, ongoing traffic, etc. before I merge out into the street to get onto the highway or the freeway, whatever you want to call it. And as I'm doing that, someone hits me. And like the way that it was in the dream, the car that hit me, so it had such an impact that my car that I was in, it spun around, like spun until like it was so bad that all the doors opened, including the driver door had opened, y'all. And so it was so amazing because in the dream, it's like this woman came to me, and I'm going to just go out on the limb and say it was an angel. After telling my parents we're very spiritual people, my entire family is spiritual. So after telling them and my family, like after the fact and after everything had processed through, like way after my dream, like after my, I'm going to get into that part. So in the dream, yeah, I get in this car accident. Somebody impacted, like the way that the car hit me, the way that it impacted my car spun around. All of my doors like flew open, including my driver door. And this woman came up to me, and a black woman came up to me, but she had on like this little white gown. I couldn't really tell her face though. Like, I knew it was a black face, I knew it was a white gown, but I couldn't tell her face. And she literally came and got me out the car. Like, she got me out the car. Like, out the car, I was not harmed. I wasn't touched. I didn't have a bruise. I didn't have a scratch. I didn't have anything. And she said, you're going to be okay. This is your season in which you're going to be okay, no matter what you're going through. She said, when Jesus walked on water, he walked on water specifically to make sure that his people were okay. And he announced that as he walked on water, that I have y'all's backs. Like, you trust in me, you abide by my word, you are obedient to me, I have your back. There is nothing that you can come to me for that I won't deliver to you. Even if it's not in the time that you want me to deliver it to you, I'm gonna always be on time. Kid y'all not, after that dream, like I said, I didn't want to like freak my parents out or whatever, so I didn't tell them about the dream, because I'm like, I know my mom should be like, a car accident, oh my gosh, and what does that mean, and blah blah blah. So I didn't tell them. 3 days later, I'm going to work. The exact same thing that happened to me in my dream came to pass. I kid y'all not, bro. I kid y'all not. Now, it wasn't to the extent where my car spun, by the grace of God, by his grace. My car didn't spin. All the floor doors did not open, but my car was heavily impacted from the back. Based on, and I came out without a scratch. Without a scratch. And I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. And at this point, I'm listening to my gospel music and everything, y'all, on my way to work. I'm listening to my gospel music. I'm like, oh, I'm super early. I left the house early. I'm going to be on time. I'm already getting a good start, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, your girl got it going on this morning. And lo and behold, I thought nothing of the dream after that. The next day I did. Like when I first had the dream, then the next day I was like, okay. And then I had processed it and got over it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just pray to God to have your fence protection around me, myself, my family, are not going out and are coming in, and that you bring no harm to us. You make sure that no harm comes to my family in any manner or any way. And then I go into a little deeper in prayer. I name everybody by first, middle, and last name. I pray over their schools. I pray over our church. I pray over the roads we travel. I pray over just the line of work that my dad does. He's constantly at different people, different clients' houses, stuff like that, fixing something or repairing something or building something or whatever. He has his own business. So I just always pray for our fence protection, very thoroughly and very detailed. And so I just go on about my day. This is the third day, like I said, after the dream, and that happened. Like a real life car accident, and he hit me from the back. So that brought in more finance. That finance there, actually, that's the one that allowed me to be able to say, hey, you need this. Hey, I'm calling like family in Atlanta, like, y'all need this, here you go, boom, 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 I got it. God allowed my finances to start changing and building back up right then and there. Okay, boom, I did all that, gave the money, whatever, my dad, my mom, etc. Aunt was giving out money, relinquishing money, or whatever the case was, voluntarily, like I said. And so that's when I was like, okay, you gave me this money, I paid all my bills, I had enough extra to give out, blah blah blah. But yeah, now I got myself kind of like in a fender bender, because now I'm back to kind of like where I started. And I was like, Lord, I need more finances. I would love more finances. I'm not money greedy or anything like that. Like I said, it's a certain line to where I like to see my money. And when it gets below that line, that becomes a problem for me. Like I start to get discombobulated. I'm like, I need to, breathe, Jasmine, breathe. It's going to be okay. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I know you delivered the first time, and it's not that I'm coming to you because I always want you to do more, but I know the God that I serve, and I know that you are more than capable of giving me anything that I ask or need of you. I said, but what I do not want is to be in another car accident. I do not want that. I rebuke that in your name. Why did I go pick up my mother like 3 weeks later? I went to go pick her up to take her to church because she had a car, I think she had a car. I don't think it was in the shop or anything. I don't know. I just probably wanted to pick her up. Yeah, I don't think she had a car. So yeah, I don't know. Her car is always in and out of the shop. So sometimes I'll voluntarily come pick her up for church or whatever. And so I went to go pick her up for church. And as we're leaving out to go to church or whatever, this lady, like, she wasn't watching or paying attention to what she was doing, and she kind of like hit the passenger side of my car where my mom was, and she like backed into my car, and it was another accident. Another car accident. Both not my fault, obviously. And so I was able to get more finances. Another blessing at the expense of someone else, unfortunately, backing into us. But that's just the way that God apparently wanted it to happen, and that's how it needed to happen. None of us were harmed. None of us was injured badly. from any one of them. As you can see, I'm alive and well by his grace alone, y'all, by his grace alone. And I was able to get more finances that way. Now, of course, I'm not going to say how much I got both times. Personally, I am not at liberty to say. So, yeah, just got to be careful. Don't ever tell y'all's money and put your amount in it or anything out there, okay, y'all? But just let's say it was nice. I needed that. And I'm so grateful to God for that, despite the way that it happened. But one thing, like I said, one thing God let me know is that when I had that dream, both times in those accidents, my mom came out unharmed. I came out unharmed. She actually got a separate check for her. She actually got a separate check, and I got my own separate check. So it kind of helped her out a lot too, tremendously, a lot too, with her finances. So that was a good thing. So she was able to bring that income in her household with her and my dad. So that's good, you know. But I'm just telling y'all, God is a good God. No matter how we see it, no matter how like upset we get, and sometimes we fuss with God, and it's okay. Sometimes I fuss with him, and sometimes I'm like, Lord, why are you doing this to me? Why are you putting me through this season? Why am I experiencing this? Why am I frantic? Why am I panicking? Why am I having anxiety? Why am I sad? Do I feel depressed? And all the things that you've done, all the things that you are doing, you still have me in this season of like struggle, this season of like, and I fuss with him so much, and I know he's probably just like, enlighten me. Tell me more. Tell me more, my child. Okay. Yeah? Really? Oh, okay. And I know he probably look at me like that, like, yeah, because I'm really interested in seeing what you have to tell me as God. As God, he knows what he's doing, whether we realize it or not. He knows your purpose. He knows your spirit. He knows your heart. He knows your mind. He knows any move, any thought, any word that comes out of your mouth, any action that you're going to do. He already knows before you even think of it. Like, he's God. I have nothing else to like say towards that except for like, he's God all by himself, and he will show you exactly why he is God. You know, and he's just so gracious. He's so merciful. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. Even in the midst of my storms, even in the midst of this chaotic world, you really can't rely on your family. You can't rely on parents. You can't rely on anyone to bring you happiness, joy, and peace except for God. You cannot rely on anyone. That's our biggest downfall as humans, is trying to rely on other humans to fulfill us, to bring us joy, to fill this hole or this like space of sadness for us, when no one can really do that but God and ourselves if we do the work. But more so it's God, and you have to allow him to move in your life. You have to allow him to move through you to be able to guide you on doing the work in yourself, and the work around the work that's just in yourself, in order for you to be that fulfillment for someone else, to be that help and that guide for someone else. You can't help or guide anyone else in the right direction towards their life if you don't even have it together yourself. So you have to allow yourself to do that, but you have to trust in God to allow him to move through you, and you have to be willing to allow that movement and that shift and that change to happen in order for you to become better, in order for you to have a closer relationship with him, in order for you to truly understand how he works and operates, not on our time, but on his time. He's always on time. Always on time. So I just wanted to come on here to say that, and whoever is going through it right now, because to be honest, I'm still in the season. I'm in the season where it's just like, I am asking like, God, why me? What's going on? But I know it's to push me. I know this season is needed. It's necessary. It has shifted me so much and evolved. I've seen myself evolve so much mentally, verbally, communicative, in a way of like a form of communication and communicating with others, patience, my temperament, like everything. I needed this season, and I needed to go through it. I really needed to go through it. And that's the thing. We get so caught up in the storm, and we're trying to figure out like is So I feel like everyone has this visualization of this cloud, right? And you're in this cloud and it's just hovering over your life and it's so foggy and you're just trying to push your way through, except it's never ending. It's like you're never going to get through this cloud. No matter how much you push to get out and to get through, you're not going to get through it. But honestly, the truth be told is that you will. That's the whole point, is getting through. That's the whole point, is getting through this storm. You are going to get through it, but it is so necessary. It's necessary and so vital for you to be in it. And to understand that it's okay to accept who you are, accept who you're becoming, accepting that greater version of yourself. Accepting that and allowing that to happen, allowing yourself to become this person. And it's so crazy to me because it's like I'm such this new person. Now I still have some old ways because I will never tolerate disrespect because I'm not a disrespectful person. I know who I am and whose I am, the God that I serve, and I know that I want people and others to see him through me. So I know that I'm not disrespectful. I know that I'm not nasty and mean or rude in any kind of way to others. So that's just something that the Lord knows I'm trying so hard to work on. But I don't tolerate it because I'm not that. So if I'm coming to you with respect and I'm coming to you with patience and empathy and sympathy, just as an adult to adult, I expect the same in return. And now granted, unfortunately, you just don't have people who have any couth, and you don't have people who have any like respect for others because it's something they're dealing with within themselves. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's important. Something that they're dealing with within themselves. So they're not able to relinquish or give that same respect in return. And so those people I just got to check. Respectfully, of course, godly, of course, but I'm gonna check you now. So I am working on that, and it's still things that I'm learning about myself that I'm growing into, and I'm accepting and I'm loving it. Like the strength, I didn't know I had so much strength. I didn't know I had so much emotional control, but that's something that I had to work on to get to that point. Like people can get on my nerves all day, but there's a point to where I'm not going to let you get on my nerves. Like at first I'm like, every time somebody would say something to me in the past, I'd be like, don't say what? I'll always be offended like by something that they said. It was because of something that was going on within me, not necessarily them. And then I had to think about that and replay so many things in my head, and I'm like, God, wow. Like, it was really because it's something going on with me. It had nothing to do with what they really said. It's because that triggered me based on where I was in life. That triggered me based on, you know, how I was deeply feeling, how I feel like I should be further ahead than what I am. So that was something that I had to work on and understanding myself. Like, I'm kind of the problem in that. If everyone is offending me, maybe I'm the problem. And sometimes people don't want to check themselves. They want to be perfect or too goody two shoes to say, hey, I need to hold myself accountable. Why am I responding like this? And what do I need to do to get out of this situation so I can become my better self, the better self that God wants me to become? But yeah, so it's just a storm that you will get through, and that's what I want to say. I want to say, put God first in all things. Stop relying on other individuals to make you happy, because more than likely it's not going to happen. Somebody is probably still, you can be healed, and somebody is still probably going to say something to offend you, because like I said, they're not happy with themselves. But you have to be healed, you have to be healed, in order to like just brush it off your shoulders. Now, I'm not saying be a fool or be stupid and let people to continuously disrespect you or talk to you negatively or be derogative towards you or derogatory towards you in your name and who you are and your character. No, you don't play with things like that. However, you can't just snap every time. Now, if it keeps happening, like I said, you let it slide one time, you let it slide two times, then third and fourth time, sometimes it's even good to check them right at the beginning. But if you're like me, because sometimes I have to process, I'm like, okay, this happened earlier today, let me just process it. Sometimes I go home and it's still in my mind because I'm like, is it me? I need to process it and make sure before I check this person, or before I let them know, like, I didn't appreciate how you said this in the tone in which you said it or whatever. And I'm glad for that, because back in college, I used to just, you said what? We fighting, like on site. We fighting, not during school, but if I catch you at a club or something, oh, it's on, because you said what? Run that back to your girl. But yeah, girl, your girl was a fighter, y'all. I was a fighter. But see how much I've evolved and how much I'm changing, and it's a process. I'm still changing, because sometimes it's so easy to go back into that old like that old mode or that old mood and be like, what do they not know who I am? Do they not know me? Like, but, and it's easy to do that, but we don't want to get back to that point. The world is getting crazier by the day. We definitely have to be cautious of like how we talk to people, what we say, what moves we make. We have to think about, is our life really worth, you know, acting first and then thinking about it later, or reacting first and then thinking about it later? Because later nowadays means somebody is capable of taking you out, and then you don't have no time to think about it later because you're no longer with us. So we have to be cautious now. We have to be very careful of, you know, like our actions and our behavior. Granted, like I said, definitely stand firm in what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate. I don't like disrespect at all, but I still have to be cautious and careful as to how, you know, I handle things. And that comes with just knowing God and allowing him to kind of direct, well, not kind of, to absolutely direct my paths and come to, like, sometimes I'm like, God, I need you to come to me right now, because my flesh and me personally, this is how I want to react, and you know this is how I want to react, but I have to represent you. Not only do I want to represent you, but I want to make that change in myself so I can represent a new person, a new woman, so I can become a new person and a better person. So it's a storm. Like I said, all of it's a storm. If you feel like you're changing and you don't know why, you can't understand this. If you feel like you've been isolated from people and everybody's just dropping out of your life and you're not understanding, it's a reason for that. It is not like a punishment to you. It is God trying to work on you to get you to the place that you need to be in life. It is God preparing you. It is God preparing you for what's greater to come in your life. It's not to harm you. It's not to punish you. He's not a punishing God. It's not to just, it's not for any reason. It's not that he's trying to put you in this storm and just leave you there and sit you there. It's a reason that he's doing that on your behalf. He's protecting you. He's getting you ready. He's preparing you. He's trying to shift and mold you so that you can represent him in a certain way, on a certain level, in a different platform, than more than what you probably have bargained for, more than what you have asked for. He already knows what you need, what you want, what you desire. As long as you continuously talk to him, pray to him, acknowledge him, be obedient to him, be in his word, abide by his word, you're going to be okay. You will see it out. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will get there. You will see that light. And I'm talking preaching to the choir, but I'm also reminding myself of these things as well, like my affirmations, by talking to you all. So just to let y'all know that I'm in the same boat. We're all in this thing together. We're all trying to make it out of the storm together. We're doing this thing called life together. You are not alone. You're not by yourself, because sometimes when God isolates you, it can also feel like you're by yourself. You have no one to turn to, and that's good. That's a good thing, because he doesn't want you to turn to anybody but him. That's the point. So do not think for 1 second that you are by yourself. You have God carrying you the whole way through. You don't know how you're waking up the next morning. It's because God has carried you to that next morning to wake you up. He is God all by himself. And I will say that always, because it's so true. He is God and God alone, God all by himself. And he loves you. He cares for you. He wants the best for you, but you have to know that. And you also have to want the best for yourself. And you have to persevere and push forward and push through the storm to get there, to see what he has in store for you. So he's a good God, y'all. He's a merciful God. He's a great God. He's just awesome. He's an omniscient God. And I have so many more things to share with y'all. Oh my goodness. But okay, let me hurry up, because my nephew gets out at 4:10 and it is now 3:45 Central Time. So let me hurry up and go see if this boy package just came before I text him and surprise him that it's here early. I don't know if I just want to wait for him there so I can see his face, like when he gets it, or if I just want to tell him, hey cuz, you like your package there, bro? But nah, okay, love y'all, love you much, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.